One of the things I love about being in the wedding industry is working with so many passionate creatives who not only love what they do, but really care about who they do it for. As one half of a wedding portrait and film team myself, we were able to sit down with a few vendors we love and have a raw, no-frills conversation about how these wedding professionals got started. We talk about their opinions in the industry, how they show up for others, red flags couples should be looking out for, and other hilariously shocking moments they've encountered while helping couples say, I do. By the way, if you're curious about how to find a wedding photographer that fits into your vision for your big day, check out our $10 Vibe Guide. It's a downloadable tutorial that walks you through the steps of defining your style. Welcome to Vendors We Love. Alrighty. Well, yay. I'm excited. You guys are great. I've worked with you a ton of times. You are efficient. Your cake tastes good. You're professional. We love it. So let's just jump in. First, introduce yourselves. Tell us who we are.
Yes, so my name is Ty, and this is,
I'm Denise.
and we are 512 Dessert.
Nice. Okay. All right. So 512 Desserts. I promised I would ask this on camera because I'm very curious. Tell us about the name. Like, what does it mean?
So the 512 comes from my birthday. May 12th
Oh.
is how we started it. And when we originally started our business, we wanted it to be a dessert boutique and lounge in which it was open during the day until 5, and then at 5 it turned into a lounge setting, and then of course it stayed open until 12. But that's probably not going to happen now because we don't really want to do that anymore.
Mhm.
But we still have the name. It's special because of my birthday.
Oh, that's so cool. So my dad is 5'11".
Oh,
So yes,
okay.
I know a couple of Tauruses.
Exactly.
My
My
hus-
dad is 5'6".
My husband's 5'4". So yeah, it just runs into
Yeah, we know that.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh, okay. So this wasn't on the list, but I'm very curious. How is it working with mom, like mom and daughter? Did you guys originally plan to do this? Is this something you've been passionate about your whole lives?
Yes. So I always knew that I was going to be in culinary since I was like 14, maybe.
Okay.
We've never been conventional kids, me or my brother. We've always been on the artsy side. So I knew that it wasn't going to be like a normal type of job. And so culinary was the first thing that I liked. And then I realized that I didn't really like cooking because it's just, I like structure. So baking is follow the recipe, go by these certain rules and guidelines. And so I like that a lot more. But being a mother-daughter team was always very easy. We've always gotten along, so obviously. And then this is my mother. I know she has my best interest. So having her in charge of everything that I don't want to do is always nice. It's always nice.
And then she started out at such a young age
Okay.
with the baking, and we had so many people asking her to make stuff. So I'm like, okay, we need to organize this. So I kind of stepped in to kind of keep things structured. And then as we got into it a little more, once she got out of culinary school, I had already had a development interest for doing event planning. So I said, well, maybe we can make this a business in which we can possibly incorporate it too. And that's when we were talking about the lounge setting. That would have been perfect for something like that. And so I kind of stepped in and started doing the business side of just keeping things organized and that kind of thing. And that's pretty much how we, turned it into a business. And,
Yeah, exactly.
and like I said, we get along very, very well.
Aw.
So that was no question.
Exactly.
That would be an issue at all.
So mom, did you bake at all before she headed into culinary school?
Yeah, well, we have a baking family.
Oh, okay.
My mom baked, my grandmother baked, and
Okay.
my husband's family, all of them worked in the bakery.
Oh.
So I think it's
Yes.
kind of embedded in her. Yeah. So I've always been a baker, not necessarily on the artsy side, but I'm just as artsy as she is.
Okay.
So it's like it works out to our benefit.
Nice. Oh, I love it. Oh, your energy is so good. Okay, so we're gonna transition a little bit into potential customers and helping brides and grooms who are getting married, just so they can get an idea of what they should be looking for. We want to start with you because you're important. How would you define your ideal customer? Who is the 512 Dessert customer? Tell me about them.
And we can both answer. So my ideal customer is someone who does not wait until the last minute. There is nothing that bothers me more than people that are like, hey, I need a wedding cake and it's 2 weeks away. Like, that's not gonna work for me. Also a client that is willing to go outside of the box, particularly for me with flavors. Most people get vanilla, chocolate, red velvet. Like, we have literally like 50 different cake flavors to choose from. They're already made for you. Like, you can choose which one, or you can be creative and pick your own type of flavor. So those two are the most important for me. She might have a different answer.
Yeah. Mine would definitely be same as hers, is that people wait until the last minute. And I really will, my ideal client is definitely someone that puts their wedding cake like at the top of the list. Because we hear so often, especially like in being into event planning, how people will put most of their focus on the cake. I mean, on the venue or the venue catering, and it seems like things like the cake, the DJ, the photographer comes last. And then they want you to kind of improvise and fit them in based on their pricing. And so that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
That's a big one for me. Yeah, and I just like a client that, like you said, that thinks outside the box, that likes unique and different flavors, textures. I love geometric stuff. So anytime anybody comes with something geometric, boho, anything like that that's very unique and trendy, that's definitely something that sparks my interest.
That's good to know. I love that you said boho, because I mean, you guys know our client base is boho, modern, minimalist, and all that. Aesthetically, what has been your favorite kind of cake to make? You said geometric. I heard that.
Yeah.
Is there like a style that you really, really enjoy leaning towards, both of you?
The style I like is very clean, sleek, and modern. Like, very elegant, classy, straight lines. I think more traditional, but not like old school traditional with the 80s where it's like stuff all over the place, but like modern and elegant is what I like. Flowers, crisp, straight cake, like that's my style, where she's a little more out there.
I'm outside.
She wants the cake to be outside.
I am somewhat outside of the box, but I do like the clean, elegant look. And like whenever we do dessert tables, I normally will set the table up. So I like to do things that are like mirrored on both sides. Everything has to be matchy, so that when you look at it, it's like a picture.
Yeah.
So that's me. I'm really anal in particular about that kind of thing.
I love it. I love it. Okay. What are some of the things that you advise couples to look out for when they hire someone to design their cake? Like, what are some red flags? What are things that a client or a couple should know? This is not the pastry chef for you.
So for me, and this is just coming from my millennial brain, someone that doesn't have social media presence. I know that sounds kind of weird, but like if I go to someone's Instagram page and they have 2 pictures, I'm like, I can't trust them because I don't know what their work looks like. I can't tell if they're actually going to give me what they're saying they're going to give me. So strong social media process, and then on social media, like if they're tagged in things from their client's point of view, like what did their client like? Do they have good reviews? Word of mouth is a big thing as well. I don't usually try to go to people that are like the hottest name out there. It's someone that I know is going to give me a good job, but may not be as well known as everybody else. That would be my biggest thing, making sure that they actually have a presence and people talking about them.
And I guess for me, the biggest flag for me, and it's probably because I do the business side of it, is somebody that says, I can give it to you for this price, and they don't necessarily understand cake pricing, and then they're telling you they can give it to you for a certain price, but really it's not realistic. And so, you know, you have somebody that's, I can give it to you for cheap, but they may not necessarily
Cheap
be
doesn't
giving it
always
to you.
mean good.
Yeah, it doesn't always mean good. And so if you have somebody, that's the first thing out, we can get it to you for cheap type thing, that's something that's a red flag, I'm sure.
Good to know. Okay, so you talked about timeline before. You said 2 weeks is not ideal. When should a couple plan to solidify their pastry chef?
For us, it would be great a year in advance, but we know no one thinks that far ahead. So at least 6 months for a wedding cake.
Okay.
Just so that we have all of the wheels moving, we can order things that they might need, we can plan ahead of time, and then we don't feel rushed.
Okay.
I mean, and idealistically, if you can't do it, 3 months is still not that bad, depending on, for us, depending on our schedule, it's something that we can squeeze in. But I
Depending on
definitely,
the
numbers,
yeah.
if it's like for the smaller micro, elopement type cakes, they're not big, so it's not that big a deal if you come a little later. But I would definitely say nothing less than 3 months for sure.
And how many people would a 3-month cake feed? Just so that folks get a good idea of that.
So it depends on the wedding. We can go as little as a cake that feeds 10 people and as big as a cake that feeds 175. Like, it really just depends on who you want to serve, how many people you want to actually eat the cake. We've had clients that are like, okay, I only want cake that'll feed, half of our party. We don't care if the other half gets cake. Like, they want a certain look. So it just depends on the client, what they want, and then we can usually come up with the numbers on what we think will fit best for them.
Yeah, with us, we tend to stay a little on the smaller cakes, the smaller petite style cakes. Normally, I don't think that we've done
right here.
I think we've done a wedding cake over 14 years.
Yeah, 4 has been our biggest.
Not to say that we wouldn't, but most of our clients say typically between two and 3 tiers is normally for us, and that's fine for us because wedding cakes can be very, very stressful. The bigger the tea is, the more work. The transportation, the more stress you have in transporting it. So we tend to stick more petite. Definitely between 2 and 3 tiers is where our most popular.
Okay, that's not bad. That transportation, whenever I get you guys this cake, I'm like, all right, drive slow, stick it in the fridge, take these levels off the fridge. I'm so nervous. Like, do not mess this up. Oh, okay. What is the craziest thing you have either encountered at a wedding or when baking a dessert?
That's crazy.
That's a question.
Right. I have to think. Craziest thing. Honestly, nothing really crazy has happened. We've had our fair share of like bridezillas, or I won't even say bridezillas. Usually it's momzillas, like the mom of the bride. We've had our fair share where they're a little like obsessive, but we've never had anything that's been like, we've never had like a cake fall over, knock on wood real quick. Mm-hmm. Nothing that's like exploded in the car or anything crazy. So
I tend to get more nervous about that kind of thing this year. So I guess
exactly.
It's good that somebody has a calmer head. Yeah. And so it flip flops.
I was about to say
we flip flop with that sometimes and worrying about.
Usually when it comes to the event, she's like, "We have to get that table set now," and I'm like, "Relax. It's gonna get done. Calm down."
I actually shot a wedding where the cake fell. It was, and the bride just was like, "All right, we're gonna keep going and pretend it didn't happen."
Exactly. Oh, actually, that almost happened at my brother's wedding. I totally forgot. I was in the back getting my makeup done, and someone came in and was like, "Ty, the cake's about to fall over," and I was like, so I run out, and it's literally like the leaning tower of pizza.
Right by the window where the sunlight was coming in,
and they had a buttercream cake, so
and
butter don't mix, so it was literally
so we had to take it down from 4 to 2.
From 4 to 2.
I remember you guys working on it, but I didn't realize that it was leaning.
I totally forgot.
And that was funny because she was in the wedding, so we did learn one valuable lesson from that wedding. Don't ever be in a wedding that you're making a cake.
Oh yeah, my family members know. They're like, "Girl, no, you gonna get out."
I forgot about that.
I did.
Wow. Okay, so I feel like I might know the answer to this, but just out of curiosity, what has been your favorite wedding moment so far?
So I don't know. Only because when we get to the wedding, we drop it off, no one's there. So it's like, for me, I'd say the last wedding cake we did in like July, we went in, it was literally like the most elaborate wedding I had ever seen. There was like flowers everywhere, and there was like chandeliers, and the floor was pretty, and I was like, oh, okay, like the cake will look cute in here. But I guess favorite moment is just like seeing the bride and groom like see the cake for the first time. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Or them coming back later and telling us like, oh my gosh, everyone loved everything was a hit. I'd say the last dessert table we did in July as well, we came back to like just assemble everything. There was literally one shooter left and like one tart left. And they had like 200 pieces on the table. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess everybody like that. I was like,
Aww.
Yeah, so that was nice.
All right, your favorite moment? Do you have a favorite moment?
I think mine would probably be with the dessert side of it because I have a hand in that.
Okay.
And so just putting everything together and then just seeing them when they finally come in and see what it looks like. That's a great moment.
Nice. I knew in my mind I was like, oh, it's gonna be your brother's wedding. That's what it's gonna be. I was wrong, but it's okay. It's okay. I got you. He knows you love him.
His was nice.
His was very nice.
Yeah, they were nice.
Okay. What's your favorite wedding cake trend right now?
I don't honestly have a favorite wedding cake trend. I usually have favorite wedding cake like designers
Mm.
that I follow on Instagram. And so my favorite one is Della Creme Studios. Her wedding cakes are like perfection. I'm like,
Really?
oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And then I also love Bitsy Cakes. She's very, very, very talented. So I don't really have a trend that I like. I just like see their stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, like they're good.
Nice.
And I pretty much told you mine. I like anything pretty elegant and anything got shapes to it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Geometry all over the place. I love that
Exactly.
kind of stuff.
Anything outside of the box. For
Have you ever been asked to do an not off, but odd color wedding cake, like a black wedding cake or like a different color in that regard?
We've never had any off-colored ones.
This one we had this week was a little different. Eggplant. And
Oh,
that's something that's kind of hard to
yeah.
match. But it
Yeah.
came out really nice.
Nice.
Exactly.
It was more so the flowers,
The flowers,
because we
right.
didn't have to
Yeah.
add the color into the cake,
Okay.
but we had to find somebody because we don't do our own flowers.
Mhm.
So we had to find somebody we work with on a regular basis. And she was like, oh, my wedding cake was eggplant. So I'm like, oh, okay, so she's
You
perfect.
know,
She knows
right?
exactly how to match. But I was a little concerned when they said eggplant. I'm like, oh my God, how are we going to find this color and make sure that it matches what they were asking for? And it came out perfect.
Nice, nice. Okay, so I'm gonna ask last couple questions. First is, do you do things like dairy-free, gluten-free? I feel like I've seen it on the site, but I want to make sure customers know that if they have special allergies and all that, that you guys cater to that crowd.
No, we don't.
Oh, I have. Oh,
I hate saying it, but no.
Okay.
We can do them. I
Mhm.
just prefer not to because it's more of a hassle trying to make sure that everything is gluten-free in the kitchen, that there's no nuts in the kitchen, that there's no dairy. Like, it's a lot more work than I am willing to put in. So,
Okay.
no.
so if you want sugar,
Exactly,
call
yes,
you. That's all right. That's your lane. We love it.
Yeah.
Just please don't pick us.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
And I normally ask her.
Yeah,
"Are
she
you
asks
gonna-"
me.
And she'll say no.
And we'll
I'm like,
do
"All right."
them on
Yeah.
occasion. Like I know we have family friends or clients that we've had for years where they have grandkids now who have like dairy allergies. It's like, all right, I'll do it for you because
Mhm.
we've known you forever. But anything that's like
And then you also
going in
have the-
something, it's like,
You also have the issue where you don't want anybody getting sick.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for somebody that's family or close to you, you run the risk of not really, it not
Exactly.
becoming an issue.
Right.
We did have a family friend that her child was allergic to dairy. We did the cake with duck eggs.
yeah.
That was
Oh.
our first time doing
Wow.
it. And we pretty much told her we've never done
Right,
anything.
well, no,
yeah.
We'll turn it
out.
out. We tried. It came out nice. She got
Yeah,
the
they
eggs for us.
Wow.
That was our first time experiencing something like that. But it was still kind of a little nerve-wracking because
Yeah.
you want to make sure that it's done properly.
Exactly.
And so that, I'm sure, was one of the reasons that she probably decided,
Yeah, I was
I
like,
know
I'm
I
not
want this.
Oh.
She just-
It's a lot. Yeah.
That's risk involved in that kind of stuff.
And then you
Yeah.
have to like tweak the recipe because like with vegan cakes and with like dairy-free cakes, the butter isn't as stiff as it needs to be, so the buttercream is runny, and then you're like trying to frost the cake, and it's all, I'm like, I can't do this.
And if you're dealing with wedding cakes, you got the
Yeah,
tier that's
definitely
back.
not doing it for
Yeah.
myself. No,
It
that
might
could
melt.
cause a problem as well.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's okay. Listen,
Yeah.
people gotta know where your lane is. We love it. We
But
love
there
it.
are people out there that do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people out there that's their niche.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's just a matter of them finding
Their
whoever that
people.
person is.
Exactly.
We love it. We love it. Okay. Last question. Where can we find you online? If people want to contact you, how do they reach out to you? We want to be able to connect with you quickly.
So our website is www.5-12dessert.com. We're also on Instagram and Facebook. Our Instagram handle is at 512dessert.
No dash in the,
Yeah, no dash in the
in the
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're located out of we operate out of 2 commercial kitchens, one in DC, it's called Mess Hall, and then one in Waldorf. So you have the option. So we cater to clients in the DMV,
Okay.
pretty much both areas.
Okay. So do you go as far north as Baltimore? I mean, when I met you guys were kind of in Ellicott City. So do you go that far north
We
or?
normally try to stay within an
Exactly.
hour.
We try
An
to stay
hour?
within an hour.
Okay.
This year we've gotten caught up many times for multiple weddings where we had one in Virginia. I can't even remember where. That was like an hour and a half away. Then I had
I think it was Warrington.
Warrenton, and then I had one in West Virginia, and I was like, never again. Like,
It's a lot.
an hour is key.
Yeah.
Anything longer, I start to get nervous.
Because you got to do the transport and all of that. And yeah, but we're noticing that's a trend that I've noticed this year that a lot of people are going further out, and I guess because it's probably cheaper to get those places further out,
Mhm.
and so it's just a lot for us with trying to figure out the logistics from transportation and all of that.
Mhm.
That it can be really stressful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
so-
you guys deliver, and I'm assuming because you said you set up the table, you set up. I guess that's, I don't know if that's standard part of like the wedding cake business, but you set up the dessert table as well.
If they get the desserts from us, that's
Okay.
part of our services for weddings. Now we've
Okay.
had, just regular social events where we'll just pick the dessert and they'll set it up themselves. But
Okay.
for weddings, typically we'll come in and we'll bring the decor. We have multiple types of tiers and stands and props or whatever that we can use, champagne wall, all of that kind of stuff that you can use. And we bring all that in and we'll set it up for you and then come back afterwards and break it down.
Okay, and they have the option to pick up as well
Yep.
if they want.
Yeah, if they want. We
Okay.
don't advise picking up anything over 2 tiers.
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah,
special-
over 2 is like, nah, we'll deliver it.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much.